Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a very important prophetic dream that's connected to Love is God 7Q's prophetic dream of this manufactured spike before Bitcoin crashed to zero. And I believe that this dream that's from Johnny Currency 365, that he gives us an exit point in his prophetic dream that he had. Now, before I go any further, folks, I am not a financial advisor. I am just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. If you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also the About section of YouTube. All right, so I'm going to play Love is God 7's video before I play Johnny Currency 365 because I know there's like a lot of newer people here. And you need to hear this prophetic dream dealing with Bitcoin's last attempt before crashing to sub-zero. Now, many people, including myself, when we saw Bitcoin just recently, and you can see here on the graph, that it jumped from like 16,500 to like 21,000. And a lot of the different cryptocurrencies were going up by 90, 80, 70, 50% very quickly. And so we all thought that this was the beginning of the manufactured spike, and especially with the XRP case now, when the decision could come at any time, I believe that if they know that the judge is going to rule against XRP, then they're going to try to run the markets up so that they can take profit. So what I'm getting ready to share with you folks, I believe is very important, and I'm going to discuss a lot of important points. So hopefully people are listening because we are at a crossroads right now where things are getting ready to happen. Now with Bitcoin sitting around right now, as of this video, Bitcoin is sitting around 22,500. So that's a big difference from just not that long ago, it was sitting around 16,500. So I'm going to go ahead and play Love is God 7 so you can hear this prophetic dream about the manufactured spike. And then I'm going to discuss it just a little bit and then go to Johnny Currency 365 prophetic dream.
Hey guys, so on the night of the 19th of July, I'd asked the Lord to show me something about the markets. And this is what I was shown. I saw that Bitcoin is about to make its final attempt to rise yet again, but it will fail. I saw that I was fully in the markets, as I am right now, and Bitcoin was attempting to make a very steep inclination, which I might add was very dangerous. Instead of going up at a 45-degree angle, I saw it struggling to rise very steeply at a 90-degree angle. And I knew in my spirit that that was dangerous and that it would most definitely not make it. And so I sold all my positions and exited the markets. If ever you're to see Bitcoin start to move up unusually fast at an almost 90-degree angle, let that be a sign to you. Let it be a warning that it's time to exit. For I'm telling you the truth. From the very moment that I exited my positions, I saw Bitcoin crash right down to zero, and it was a massacre. I literally saw that some people were taken out. They were dead. Some of whom were people that I knew. They were completely wiped out. They lost everything. God forbid, some of them will lose even their lives in this coming crash. So that's what I saw. Bitcoin will attempt to rise yet again before it crashes to sub-zero levels. Now, as far as the timeline on this crash, I have absolutely no idea. Just let that steep inclination, let that be a sign to you. If ever you're to see that in Bitcoin, let that be a sign to you. Because in this experience, that freaked me out and it caused me to exit the markets. And the markets crashed immediately, the very moment that I exited the markets. This was not the first time that I was shown this. I've had similar experiences already a couple months ago, that the very instant, the very moment that I exited the markets tumbled off a cliff, killing everyone that was in it. And then on the 19th of July, I had this same very similar experience yet again, and I'm now sharing this.
Okay, so one of the things is that he did not see when he was able to get out, right? He didn't see the Bitcoin price or anything, that he saw it at a steep inclination, like a 90-degree angle. All right, he said that would be the sign. So you can see here on the chart, you can see how Bitcoin is actually moving up, because people were asking him about if they thought that this was the manufacturer spike, that what we saw in Bitcoin. Then we had also had some altcoins that were going up 90, 80, 70% almost instantly. All right, so that was kind of weird too as well. So that's what really kind of caught me, was just seeing this. It was almost all of a sudden. Remember, folks, we've been sitting around 16,500 for the longest time. So as soon as he exited, the markets crashed before they went to sub-zero. So the steep inclination is a sign. So is this what we're seeing right now? Now, currently, Bitcoin is at 22,557. So let's go ahead and get to Johnny Currency 365 Dream, right? Because I believe that this is connected to this manufactured spike. So keep in mind, folks, that me and Johnny Currency 365 are two different people. I am the Wealth Transfer with TC, and he is Currency 365. All right, and a lot of people get us confused. Johnny was actually one of the first people that got me into making these videos in the first place. He has been talking about the wealth transfer for a very long time. So the link to this video will be down below in the description, and I recommend giving him a subscribe.
Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about is what's going on with the cryptos, and I'm sticking. And this video is basically called "I'm sticking with my Bitcoin dream." Until something happens, right? Until something different happens, I'm gonna stick with my Bitcoin dream. And so a lot of you guys remember the dream, and a lot of you guys don't, right? So the dream was that I saw Bitcoin being manipulated to the upside. Okay, and I don't know how they did it, or they use bots, or they use the Federal Reserve, or what printing. They started manipulating Bitcoin to the upside. Okay, and when it was done, I saw the price of 33,000. Okay, now that doesn't mean that Bitcoin won't go higher. Bitcoin could definitely go to 40, 50, 60,000, by the time they're done with this run, right? But in my dream, I saw 33,000, which we're not that far off from now. We're only like $12,000 off from there, and so it is what it is, right? So Bitcoin up to those levels of around 33,000, and then what happened was when it hit that area, that 33,000, it stopped, and then it wiggled for a couple of days, and then boom, right? Some type of event happened. It was either some type of hack or some type of war, or something happened, and it just started crashing, right? So it started crashing all the way down, and I think in my dream it was 10,000. I know some people have seen 12,000 or 14,000, but I think in my dream it was 10,000. It crashed to 10,000, and then it went right to zero. Right, and so it went to zero. Now, when I say zero, we don't know how low that is. It could be 1 cent, 5 cents, $100, $10, but on the chart, it looks like it went to zero and then came right back up. Right, so it flash crashed basically. Right, and with a flash crash, that only takes a few seconds. It's not a week or several days. A flash crash is seconds. So a crash can take, a month, right? A crash can take 3 days. A crash can take a week. A crash can take 2 weeks. We've been through many crashes in cryptos and stocks, right? And we know that some of it takes a week, some of it takes 24 hours, some of it takes a month, right? But a flash crash is seconds, right? And 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever it is, right? So, and then the flash crash to zero. Now, and then once the flash crashed, it came right back up to 10,000. It steadied itself at 10,000. This is in my dream. It steadied itself at 10,000, and then it started to rise up slowly up to 20,000, and then 30, and then it started getting going again, and then it started a super bull cycle happen, and it looked like that was going into the end of the summer and the fall time, right? So like I was saying, like it looks like It looks like they're gearing up for something in that March, April, June, July time period. Something bad is about to happen in that time period because that's what I keep sensing.
All right, so let's go ahead and unpack this here. So what he said was he saw Bitcoin being manipulated to the upside. And he said he saw Bitcoin at the 33,000 mark. Now, he did say that it could actually go higher. Right, so I want to make that clear because we could actually see it go up to 35 or 36,000 and then come down to 32,000, right? And then fluctuate between 32 and 33,000. So that's very possible. But he said when it was at the 33,000 mark, it stopped for several days. Okay, and then some event, and we've discussed all those different events, everything from XRP to a nuke in Ukraine to China invading Taiwan to a hack to a blackout to the creator of Bitcoin being revealed. We've discussed all those things that could crash Bitcoin. And I think the next big one that could be at any moment is the XRP. Then he said it went to 10,000 to 0, then 10,000. Then from there was a slow rise that led up into a super bull cycle through the end of the summer into the fall. Okay, so there's a lot there. And I believe that what he's referring to in this dream is connected to the one that I just shared with you with this manufactured spike. So my conclusion is this, in my interpretation, that we'll be getting out around the 33,000 mark, and that we will have a couple days to get out of the markets. Now remember, Q, he got out of the markets, and as soon as he did, it crashed. But he didn't know at what point. So I believe that this could be the point to where we do exit the markets. And since it did hover there for a couple days, it will give you time and an opportunity to start transferring funds. So let's say you exit out of the market, right, with most of your crypto. Right? And then you turn around and set up buy limit orders for Bitcoin, Shiba Inu, whatever cryptocurrencies you want. Right now, I'm not saying that you have to sell off all of your crypto. Then that's also going to give you time to cash out to your bank. It's going to give you time to set up more buy limit orders. Some of you will actually need to go out and buy hard wallets. And depending on how much of the market you exit out, some of you will have done very well in this manufactured spike. So some of you might need to pay off some debts, might need to buy a car or whatever. I don't think this is the time where this massive wealth transfer is coming in and you're going out and buying a whole bunch of land and stuff. I don't think we're at that point with this first manufactured spike. It just depends on how much you exit out, how much you've been building up, right? To where you can actually begin to do all that stuff and still take advantage of the markets, because it's not just the crypto markets. When I exit out of the markets, I'm also setting up buy limit orders for stocks like McDonald's. Also, computer equipment, getting brand new equipment that you're only doing your finances on in your home, and whatever improvements that you need to make, right? Like getting a stronger or faster internet, so forth, right? Paying for security, virus protection and all that stuff. Also, LifeLock. And the most important thing, I think that once you exit the markets, say it reaches up to that 32,000 mark and you decide to start exiting, change all your passwords to all your platforms in your bank account, right? To every financial app or institution you're connected to, change your password. Because there was a dream that I came across dealing with the Bitcoin crash, and after that, the hackers were trying to get in and trying to steal people's cryptocurrency. Okay, so after this event, he said it was going to go down to 10,000. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. And this is a chart that is a combination of different people together as far as what we're going to see as far as this flash crash. So it was 30 to 35K, right? So Maria Conwell, Christopher Harris, other people have seen it. Bitcoin dropped from that 30 to 35,000 range down to 0. So once it goes down to 0, our first set of buy limit orders are going to fill, right? So when he said he went from 10K to 0, right, then our buy limit orders are going to fill. and then it's going to go back up to 10K. Right now, what he saw was a little bit different. He didn't see the other flash crash that happened, because remember, if you guys remember, Christopher Harris saw it went to 0 to 10,000, back to 0, and then back up again. So we don't know how fast these flash crashes are going to happen and other events that are going to take place. But remember, we have the instructions to sell Bitcoin at 10K to get altcoins like XRP, Shiba Inu, Electronium, and so on. Right? And then we're going to reset up our Bitcoin buy limit orders. So once it jumps up to that 10K, then we fulfill all of this here and we get whatever altcoins. Now, according to what Christopher Harris said, he saw it go back down to 0 and then back up again. So there's going to be two opportunities really to stack up on coins. You got your first one here, right? And then again here, if that is how things go. So we do have to be careful and make sure that, we do get confirmation on this back-to-back flash crash, because he didn't see that here. He just saw it go from 10K to 0 to 10K and rise slowly and then go into a super bull run, right? And this is where I believe Bitcoin eventually will run all the way to 100,000, right? And he said through the end of the summer and fall. Now, he didn't say 100,000. I am saying that I believe that this would be the super bull run to 100,000, over 100,000 for Bitcoin. And what happens, what Christopher Harris said, what was going to happen when Bitcoin hits 111,000. Right now, it could go past that and then come back down. But he did say that there would be another crash that would take place when Bitcoin hits 111,000. And then eventually at some point, whether it's a flash crash or just a crash, it's going to eventually come back down, right? And that could take a whole year, folks. So that's why I say this wealth transfer is not something that's just going to happen in a matter of months. These are things that are going to take place over time. And so we have many different instructions. We have Claudia's dream, where she's pouring money into XRP and Shiba Inu, and other people have had similar dreams. And then also, too, I want to connect maybe possibly this flash crash. We saw Michael Lawrence's dream and Pastor Keith's dream dealing with this flash crash, along with Christopher Harris, as you can see here. With all this turmoil that's going to be in the markets, right? You heard the prophecies concerning what's supposed to happen in February from Prophet Joshua Giles, right? And people aren't going to be able to look at the charts and see what's going on. And other people, I've shared the dream where everything was at 0, everything's red. So it's going to be a crazy time where they say this has never happened before. That's what I believe we're going to see, some of these waves that people are talking about, how it's just going to run up to, Shiba Inu is going to run through $1 all the way up to $13 and then come all the way back down, right? And also Luna Classic going up to $15 and then come crashing down, right? So we're going to see a lot of fluctuation, and I think not just in the crypto markets, but also the stock market, but that's a different story. And so with what some of these people are seeing, I believe that turmoil could be coming in the month of February coming up, right? And so I believe that we're going to see our manufactured spike. And I said that if the decision is going against XRP, I believe that they are going to run up Bitcoin. So this could be that manufactured spike too as well. Because you guys you guys do remember, the different flash crash and spike dreams dealing with Bitcoin and Luna. If not, you need to go back and start looking at those videos, folks. We are, there are still people that aren't in position. There are people that gave up and they sold out. And here we are. We're at this point, we're at this position where I think that things are getting ready to really happen. That's what I believe, right? When I look at everything, when I put the whole picture together. And that's why I say I believe that God is going to give us a little bit of wealth transfer before Bitcoin runs up to 100,000, right? And that depends on how much you've invested, how much you've stacked up, and how you execute all of your orders. That's very important too as well. So just to kind of recap, that this manufactured spike, if we see this, especially looking at the chart, and it's going up to that 33,000 mark, we're going to have a little bit of time to exit and to get a lot of our things set up as I explained. Setting up more Bitcoin buy limit orders, setting up buy limit orders for other cryptocurrencies and stocks and so on, and getting your hard ledgers and getting brand new computer equipment and changing your password and signing up for services like LifeLock and making sure that you have computer equipment that you've purchased that you're only working with your finances on. I don't believe this is the wealth transfer where you're going out and buying $10 million worth of land and property and so on. I think that's coming a little bit down the road, but I think this is going to be the very beginning of it. And this year, we're going to be going into buying land and setting up our storehouses, not just for us and our family, but for the community and other things that we have been discussing on this channel. And this is going to lead to our super bull run cycle, which is going to give us so much wealth, because if this happens in the way that it does, a lot of you should have Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin goes over 100,000, and we know that it's going to start collapsing again around the 111,000 mark, by then you will have put yourself in such a good position, and selling off, right, you'll be ahead of everybody else. So one of the other things is that Dr. Maria Conwell, remember, she had her red tsunami dream where it dropped from that 30,000 mark. Christopher Harris also saw it drop from that 30,000 mark, 30 to 40,000 mark. This dream that Johnny Currency 360 have is also a confirmation of the other people like Maria Conwell and Christopher Harris, who saw it drop from that 30 to 35,000 mark down to zero. So folks, hopefully you will continue to put yourself into position. And the Bitcoin phishing buy limit order document is down below in the description. Okay, it also will be in the comment section. Read everything, follow the directions. There are videos on how to use some of these websites, these trading platforms, and I discussed some other things on here and some pictures and so forth to help you guys out. So anyways, folks, I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.